We got the XMR out. Gonna go check out the woods. Let's go for a rip. Put her in four-wheel. So, I want to talk about the bike. I want to talk about things that I like about it. I want to talk about things I don't like about it. And I kind of want to give you a more in-depth review. I've got 43 hours on the bike right now. About 500 kilometers, about 300 and change miles. So things have been going pretty good so far. There's a few things I like. Actually, there's a lot of things I like about the bike. There's a few things that I would change. And there's also some changes for 2019 that a lot of people aren't aware of. I really want to go into detail on what I found is different from 2018s, for instance, and why I prefer the 2019 over the 18. There's quite a few changes that I enjoy about this bike and things that I think that Can-Am did a really great job on. So let's take a look. All right, so let's start at the front. So there's a few changes the 2019 has over the 18s. One of which, and I think my favorite, is the arched A-arms. So as you can see right there, the A-arms actually have a bend in them on the bottom. The top ones are actually negative arched, but the bottom ones are positively arched. And they actually arch up above the bottom skid plate here. And I think that really does add to the ground clearance and the overall space that you have under the bike. I know a lot of companies offer aftermarket A-arms, and I think that it's nice of Can-Am to actually add that on stock. Another change that I noticed, and one of my favorites, is the metal bumper corners right here. So the metal bumper corners have been are replacing the plastic bumper corners. And I do think the Can-Am should have done that a long time ago. I know that's one of the biggest complaints with Can-Am owners, especially the Outlanders, is those silly plastic bumper corners. But I think they did a good job of replacing them now, and I hope to see that in the future. For 2019, the bike also got a new EPS motor. Now, unfortunately, it can't be seen, but it is just back in there, and that is the power steering motor. 2018 had numerous issues. A lot of EPS lights would come on and check DPS and that kind of stuff on the dash. And it was nice to see that Can-Am has addressed that by improving that and replacing it with a different motor. So far, no issues, no lights. I've got 43 hours on the bike and have had zero problems, and I've had it up to about there in water. So everything's been under, no problems at all. And as you can see, we're on some pretty big tires and it still has no issues with it. Now, moving on, one of my favorite features that helps with rider control is the sway bar, which is right here. They've added a front sway bar to the bike, which I really do think is a benefit to all riders and all types of riding. Mud riding, maybe not so much, but definitely if you're a trail rider or if you run roads, that sway bar is going to be crucial for keeping the bike stable. And I'm sure, as you've seen with most other review videos, the rear tires will actually lift on a tight corner because the front end dives so much as you go around the corner. The whole bike will pitch over and pick up the back rear tire. That's kind of it for the front. Not a whole lot's changed. It still runs 28-inch Mega Mayhems from factory. These are 29.5 Assassinators. I've changed the wheels and tires out, but it runs a 12-inch wheel and a 28-inch Mega Mayhem on the 650. The 850 1000s come with 30-inch cryptids, although they measure about 28 inches. And the Mega Mayhems measure about 27.5. So the cryptids aren't true 30s, but they are better than, obviously, the Mega Mayhems in the size categories. For the most part, the rest of the bike has stayed fairly similar. It does have a rear sway bar in there that you can see just right there. They use a mono rear tube now, as opposed to a A-arm rear arm. I guess you call that a rear trailing arm. So it uses just a single tube with a very long bolt across the front that connects both of them on the same bolt. However, they can move independently. Mind you, without the sway bar, they would definitely move independently. Ground clearance on this thing is fantastic. I think probably one of the biggest changes that Can-Am didn't publicize, and I think it's because they're testing the idea, is the rear differential is new for this year. Now it's a very similar case. I can't tell you, I don't know, never owned an 18 or prior, and the 2015 we have here is very similar, so I don't think there's a whole lot of difference. However, the rear differential has been replaced with from a helical cut to a straight cut gear system. There is a little bit of gear whine. I don't mind the gear whine. I believe it's a 3.6 to 1 gear ratio still, so it maintains the same gear ratio as before. However, they are a straight cut gear, and as of now, on March 9th, 2019, I have yet to see anybody that's actually blown a 2019 diff. Lots of people that I know are actually running 2019 gears to hopefully remedy the issue, and the fact that they're running older machines with 19 gears tells me that the diff casing is probably similar and it's a new ring and pinion. I know that Darius, who owns BRP Monsters, is running them, as well as there's a few guys that are looking at switching over to them, and there's a few guys that actually offer an aftermarket straight cut gear system as well. So the idea's been around for a while. Can-Am's just finally adopted it and put it on their production models. All right, now let's talk about the things that I don't like about the bike. Let's start with those. My biggest complaint with the bike that I have to say from factory is this plastic right along the side here. This plastic is absolutely brutal for getting scratched. And you can see that plastic was a beautiful gloss when I bought the bike, and it is just a hazy mess now. And I'll probably end up coming along here and doing a wrap across it just to protect it and prevent any other damage, as well as doing a buff and clean before I do that to get rid of the scratches and bring the polish back. But I believe this is an automotive paint that they use on the black, and because of that, it just scratches like crazy up. And I would have to say my other complaint with the 650, it does not come with a winch. I do not know why it does not come with a winch, but it does not come with a winch. So I had to I just put on a very cheap 3,000 pound to get me through probably my first season riding, see how I like it. If I want, I can always throw on, I think I might put a Warren axe on in there at some point, if it'll fit inside the cage there. And I would have to say that my other complaint with the bike is the stock rims and tires. Now obviously these are 29.5 Assassinators, and the stock wheels and tires, unfortunately the rims are a high gloss black with a polished machine finish. They just show scratches and they just show damage almost on the first ride. A bit disappointing. The tires were great. The only reason I went bigger tires is because I primarily I enjoy riding in mud and water as opposed to more of a mixed tire. So this is more focused on the type of riding that I enjoy doing, and I like pushing the bike a bit. So the stock wheels and tires did the job. These just do what I do better. They do what I ride better. So yeah, I'd say that's probably my only dislikes with the bike. It's overall a really, really, really good bike. There's a few things I had to do to make it kind of my own. So features wise, I've added on the factory Can-Am snorkel. I've added on a set of black guards, which a buddy of mine hooked me up with the guards, and the dealer actually hooked me up with the mounts, which was awesome. And I added on a set of Rocks 2-inch risers. Those are a 7/8 bar to a 7/8 or 1 1/8 bar mount. I obviously have the winch controller, and I've actually, they're currently off the bike, but I have added heated gloves. I was going to do grips, but I decided to actually heat the entire glove. So I bought a set of motorcycle heated gloves, and they've been amazing down to -25 or so. Other than that, I've obviously added wheels and tires, as you can see. I've obviously put a winch on it, and other than that, it's fairly by itself. Actually, and you know what, there's one other thing that I'm not a huge fan of that I wish Can-Am would do a better job of, and that is skid plates. It's an XMR. It's designed to ride in the mud, I get it. However, there is rock, and I understand we have factory guards there, which have held up so far. However, the entire underside of the bike, as you can see, it isn't primarily covered. So this entire back section, from about the back of those foot pegs all the way back here, the entire differential, everything is all exposed. I wish that wasn't the case, because I have rubbed the bottom of this frame off of things before. Eventually I will be getting a skid plate set. However, Can-Am did a great job of selling the bike to me. However, they did not offer things like aluminum skid plates when the bike was actually sold to me. And as of yet, I don't believe they have those. It's only aftermarket companies so far. So, okay, let's talk about the things I enjoy most about the bike. I would have to say that its size and stability are my biggest things. I'm 6'8", and it's tough to find something I fit on. I did have to raise the bars. They were a little low for my liking. I love the ground clearance. The bike has fantastic ground clearance. I absolutely love the new wheels and tires, although the stock tires and wheels that came on it were fantastic as well. They just, I wanted a little bit bigger and something more focused on the type of riding that I do. It's got a decent amount of storage, surprisingly, and it's not blocked by a cooler or anything, so you can just throw all sorts of stuff in there. Water bottles, coolers, anything you like. And I love the Lynx rack system, although I haven't used it for anything other than just tying down things with ratchet straps. The bike is fairly good on fuel, actually, surprisingly enough, and its trail manners for an XMR are very good. And obviously it is a water bike, and I've had it up to, I want to say probably somewhere in the range of about right here in water without any issues at all. The fender is completely under. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to keep riding and keep enjoying this awesome machine. If you did like the video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, get the notifications on. If you did not like the video, you know what to do. Let me know why you didn't like the video, and let me know what I can do to improve it. If you have ideas for future videos, be sure to let me know on those, because I'm always looking for more information and more ideas. You guys usually have some great stuff that I may not think of, so really appreciate that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna keep riding. See you out there.